was creating new meetings, obviously with the show. So Paul can't hear anything that's being said right now, so say what you want in the chat. Mini meltdown. Paul's not going to listen back to any of this. Oh my goodness, it worked. It actually worked. That's really, really weird.
Yeah. So, are we hot mic? Or are we
oh yeah, no, we're hot micing. Of course we're hot micing.
Oh, fun! Alright, I'm closing the door.
Go close the door and I'll mute us for the start.
This is Lego Calrissian from the ANZGC, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast, part of the Escape Pod Castaways network. This program was recorded in front of a live studio audience. Just wanted to say that fellow Patreon Tenpool is way better at GAC than me, as he got the win over me in the last round. Just wanted to wish him a happy birthday. Hope you all have a great day and enjoy the show.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast.
Yet another person steps up to the plate to help us get to 1,000.
The community gives back to you in this epic push that we have undertaken.
There really wasn't much to talk about this week, was there, Paul?
Well, we did get some comments on our last episode on YouTube.
Biscuit Weazel, Biscuit Weazel joins us in the second segment to make an announcement about a new series he's working on.
You know what, Neil? I'm even helping on this.
Oh, very nice. We are scheduled to talk to fellow podcasters Xaereth and Solobass15 about their swagger podcast, The Gambit, in our incoming transmission.
It is nice to talk to people just like us once in a while, isn't it?
There's nobody like you, Paul.
Should I take that as a compliment?
Our fourth segment should be fun as always.
You didn't answer my question, Neil.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
Subject to change.
Damn it, Neil!
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Escape Podcast. Yes, just ignore that first few seconds. I forgot to unmute us. Obviously, we're, sorry. We're just, hello, everybody. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing well, my friend. It's been a stressful run up to this show right now. But we made it. Things are popping. We're going to have a fun time. And, thank you very much for all of this. Not Force Strong, Lego Calrissian and Tenpool, two of our Patreons, they met up, as you saw in the, or heard in the beginning, and they went toe to toe. Tenpool pulled out the win. So happy birthday, Tenpool. Very, very proud. He's also a guildie of mine. And that was against ANZGC. So, we have the Yavin ANZGC rivalry going. I'm quite happy of that when those matchups do happen. So, congratulations.
It's nice when friends get to play against friends.
You could probably do it more often if there was a sandbox mode.
Yeah, if it wouldn't it be cool if people could choose their group of 8?
Well, it would be cool. Now let's go ahead and address that right now because we did want to talk about the sandbox mode here. Actually, let's hold on to that. The first thing that I want to do is I want to thank Deadpool Kyle because he put in, he threw his hat into the ring in the push to get us to 1,000 subscribers. And in doing that, he made a video. Do you have the video ready, Neil?
Yes, I do.
All right, Neil, push the button.
Hey, guys. Do me a favor. This is your buddy Deadpool Kyle from Dan and Kyle Do Hollywood. My good friends over at the Escape Pod Cast are trying to push towards 1,000 subs to sustain it. So do me a favor, if you're watching this video, go over to their YouTube, hit like, subscribe, and you know what? Go ahead and hit the bell notification for them, so you can see what they're gonna be or when they're gonna be going live with their Escape Pod Cast. So we're running a little contest, and I need your guys' help. Once they sustain 1,000 subs, go over to their Discord server, and they're going to make a channel. Post your biggest regrets of Gear 13 and Zetas to the specified channel. Once you do that, we will randomly select one that myself, DPK, has to reciprocate. If I've already done it, I will do the Zeta, whatever. And on top of that, I myself will send you a $50 gift card, whether it be Google Play or iOS, to you. And I will Gear 13 and Zeta, the one character that wins the contest. So, if you guys can do that, and they will be selected at random, by the way. If you do that, you will receive $50 and watch me Gear 13 and Zeta character. I hope you guys all go over there and help my buddies out at the Escape Podcast. And you guys have a great day. We'll see you on the holotables.
Oh, wasn't that lovely of DPK?
Yeah, so for those who just need the Reader's Digest version, $50 in your denomination in iOS or Android American. And with that, he will also Zeta and Gear 13, your biggest Gear 13 and Zeta regrets. Once we hit 1,000, I'll put a room inside our Discord server, and we will end up picking a winner. Now, if he already has those, then you still win the $50, but we will still make him Zeta and Gear 13 a character or characters based on somebody's biggest regret. So I think it's great.
Yeah.
I really do.
And if you are not subscribed to Dan and Kyle Do Hollywood, you should. And you here's the thing. One of the things that their kind of like their thing is it's not just SWGOH, it's SWGOH and sports.
Yeah. If you like sports.
They do. I mean, me, when it comes to like your sports ball in America, I've not got a clue and don't really care. You know, cricket and football is my thing. But if you like your sports balls, like your American football and your American baseball and your American hockey and all of that stuff, they do like
it was made in Canada.
They do like to talk. They do like to talk sports. So if you like your SWGOH mixed with sports, you've got to tune into Dan and Carl Do Hollywood. Oh, and of course they do their GACs as well when it's convenient, when it falls in time.
Yeah, but it's. I'm so grateful for the community that we have, and thank you, a very, very sincere thank you, Kyle, for making that step up. So now let's wrap this up. We have Bringer of Chaos, who will join you, Neil, in chopping off their long hair and donating it to charity. And now $50 to a contest winner. On top of that, Kyle will humiliate himself with a Gear 13 and Zeta choice. So we thank you for that. One other thing, while we're talking about little stuff we have going on, the Llama also is running a contest where she will buy a shirt from the Escape Podcast store and send it to you straight from the store if you become a Patreon or up your Patreon this month. In February, you have 8 more days to become a Patreon or up your current pledge to be entered into that. Let's see here. I'm just looking at the chat real quick.
Yeah, let's do this, Bringer. Yeah, but is your hair as long as mine, though, mate?
It's pretty close.
Mine?
It is pretty close from what I understand, Neil. So it's don't doubt the power of the Bringer.
I won't. Okay, so what else are we talking about? Segment 1.
All right. So we were going to talk about what was it?
Well, I mean, we could. I mean, we could leave. I mean, I was talking about GAC. How wouldn't it be nice if we could have a sandbox version of GAC where 8 friends could play against each other? I mean, obviously, there's no rights. You're not going to win massive prizes. You win bragging rights. But how awesome would those bragging rights be if you could put 8 if you could put 8 close friends, 8 people into a group? Obviously, you'd need to have relatively close GPs. I mean, or there needs to be some form of handicap, like with golf. I don't think you could integrate a handicap though, so it'd need to be like 8 people of roughly the same GP. But you could have so much fun with that. I mean, screw sandbox. Give us the ability to do GAC. Give us the ability for us to pick our 8 GAC groups. That would be fun.
So that's where it would become a problem, because it couldn't be for anything if we did that. It's more of a just fun thing. So it would be the sandbox mode that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So if
you could still have a lot of fun with it.
There would be tons of fun with it. Setting defenses, seeing how whose Phoenix can withstand the most solo attempts.
Yeah. Well, think about it. You could have so much fun with it, and we need that this game could do with some community fun. There's people are having fun on individual levels. I mean, let's be honest. Territory battles and territory wars is more of a chore now than it's like, oh wow, yeah, oh god, I can't wait to do territory. People aren't like that. That's not what territory wars is like anymore. For a large swathe of people. But if you had a GAC and you were picking your opponents, oh my god, that would be so much fun. And Skywalker Vader's just asked a question. For both of us, if GAC was not in this game, would you be playing SWGOH with how CG runs their game now? Thanks, guys. You go first, Paul.
For me, the answer would be yes. I am a Territory Battles fan. It said that right there in the open. I don't as much have fun playing the game when it comes to the light side Geonosis Territory Battles. I think I've quite made that clear. But I do enjoy the dark side Geonosis Territory Battle. I enjoy tackling that week in and week out. I do enjoy going in and playing and figuring out how best to get us 12 stars. People said that 12 stars with a guild our size cannot be done if we go for the Kiadi Mundi mission. And by golly, I'm going to tell you right now, we're at 11, pushing for that 12th right now, and it just very well may happen. To answer the question directly, would I still be playing? Yes. Neil?
I mean, I'd still be playing. I would just be live streaming like a hell of a lot less. Like, seriously, a hell of a lot less. When you think about it, most content creators that post and do videos directly about the game, 50%, bare minimum, and that's just being conservative. 50% of what most people post is, live streaming GAC. And I'm even, I'm more GAC than recorded content these days, because I put so much effort into the Escape Pod cast and the Content Creators Network and all the stuff we do on that I just, as much as I loved doing content every single day for SWGOH, is he in chat? Oh, damn, he's in chat. Yeah, a certain something that shall not be discussed kind of, made me think, yeah, sod the daily content. The whole point of the Horde account was to do something specific, and something came into the game that completely negated what I was doing with the Horde account. So now it's just GAC. So there was no point in doing the daily stuff and giving people an update of a free-to-play account surrounded by that which will not be named. So yeah.
Go ahead and say it.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to say it because he's in chat, and I don't want to. You know, I don't want to make him mad. I don't. You know, I'm scared of him. He'll do me over.
Well,
I'm self-censoring because I'm scared of him.
Here's something that I'll say it because he just asked that you wouldn't bash it as much. But he also, this person who shall not be named, whose name is Sir Boss, part of our channel and our Discord server, great guy. He's saying he's throwing into the mix that he will get his face done up in makeup if we hit 1,000. We got a lot of our listeners, a lot of our fans coming together. So, you know, I'm fine with the hot dog bun. You know, HDB, the hot dog bun.
Yeah. So good question. We've gone way off the beaten track since that question, but good question.
Yeah. The hot dog bun itself has kind of sucked the fun out of what I was doing.
Exactly. It sucked the fun out of what I was doing with the account because of, you know, the nature of the hot dog bun. You know, I mean, not all hot dog buns are equal. But all hot dog buns kind of beat non-hot dog bun accounts, you know?
Yes, I do know. I've heard it for the past 20 weeks.
Yes.
All right. With that being said, speaking of a lot of our comments back and forth, I wanted to go into the comments section of our YouTube video. A lot of people say, "Don't ever go into your own comments section."
Don't ever read the comments. You don't ever read the comments. You know.
Well, I do want to read the comments for the last video that we did. You know, let's see here. Episode 52 was with Grace Gamer. I gotta mute the audio here.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody named Naragath said, "It's hilarious listening to Left Guy try to CG fanboy defend stuff, but also kind of sad because it seems genuine and not just devil's advocate. The payoff, though, is great. Listening to Right Guy absolutely destroy the terrible arguments in mere seconds. At least I'm left shark. At least I'm left shark, okay?"
Oh, bingo face.
You know,
what?
I'm going to say this. I have no problem in being a positive gamer. I have no problem in going forth and, you know, trying to create a space where people can, you know, not worry about the sky falling all the frickin' time. There are content creators that go negative, and that's how they get their views. But honestly, guys, if you are not in it just for the money, then why are you still making stuff on a game that's dying? Move on. Go to another game. Go all in on that game. All right? Bye.
Raid Shadow Legends to never be advertised on this channel ever.
Exactly.
I don't care if they came and offered us money, and it's not going to happen. It's never, ever, ever going to happen on this channel. I'm putting my foot down, Paul. We will never, ever, ever run an ad for Raid Shadow Legends on this channel. Ever.
Except for the ads that you're giving them right now by saying Raid Shadow Legends.
I'm slagging them off. That's all right. I suppose no, you know, bad all press is good press. But yeah, whatever. Just advertised it. Yeah, just Dragon Champs.
You know, we do have in the Content Creator Network, we do have Fighting Drunk and Drunkfish Games that does stuff for Dragon Champions. It is a fun game. That's all I'm gonna say. I enjoy it. Yeah. Crucify me if you need.
Swugger and Runes. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, Runes of Magic. We play that all the time.
We got Guild Castle now. Yeah.
We do have a guild castle.
We have a
which
guild
is
castle.
apparently a big thing in the game, guys. So,
Oh, yeah.
You're not a guild until you have a guild castle. But we're getting off track here. I will go back to the comment section just to show you guys my reply to it. My reply was, Nagaroth, thanks. This is Left Guy. Thanks. So, but
I like the part. I like the part where you said that, right guy just slams the comment. Although this this in no way is a left-right diet. There is nothing to. It's not a left or right thing. I'm a proud voluntarist, and I am neither left nor right. So just look at my Facebook photo. Just look at my Facebook profile picture.
Look over your shoulder.
Which one?
The other shoulder. Look.
Yes, A. See, A for anarchy.
Yeah.
Anarchist and proud, a real anarchist, not these rubbish people. Not these people that that say they're anarchists. A real anarchist, a real anarchist, as in the proper sense. So stay tuned to Going Nerdy. He's going to have me on so I can talk about it sometime.
Yes, that's absolutely one of the things that are going to be commended there. Looking forward to that one. Let's see. Sephiranus, I'm not going to read your Patreon comments. What the hell, dude?
Okay, so what
All right,
are we doing next?
So what else you got for the opening, my friend?
I've got some show and tell.
Yeah, let's do quick show and tell.
Quick show and tell. So I picked this up. Beautiful. Absolute beautiful graphic novel. This. Skywalker Strikes. Really, just the artwork in this is awesome. John Castaways.
Now that's the new one.
No. This is the old one.
That's the old one. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, this is the old one. This is from 2015.
Okay, and remember, we are a podcast, so you'll have to explain exactly what you're holding up.
What I'm holding is the graphic novel of the Skywalker Strikes series. Basically, they did New Hope era. They did Skywalker, Solo, and they did Leia, and it was it was a 6 comic book series. And what they tend to do with those 6 comic book series is they put them in a graphic novel, so you don't have to go out and buy 6 individual comics. And then you get this lovely thing. And I picked this up for $2, and it's in near mint condition. And the artwork in it is absolutely awesome. I can't wait to get it read. So I got that, and I also picked up these bad boys, these lovely, lovely, lovely books. Oh. So there. So these are extended universe books without the legend tag. So original print. Means so these were printed before Disney bought them out and then made the EU like legends and all of that crap. So so I've got 5. I picked up 5 of those 9 books, which is also pretty good. Would have been 10 books, but the other 5 were hardbacks, and I was really trying to restrain myself. So there's 5 books there for bedtime stories with the Escape podcast for kids. When we finally kick off with that channel.
we will be getting going. Your basement is almost finished, and you'll be ready to don the
beginning of March. Beginning first 2 weeks of March is when I sort out the other side of the basement, and then I'll be moving the studio. Once the studio is set up on the other side, it's going to be much larger. I'll have more space. I'll have more green screen technology stuff going on, so that it'll be like me sitting by a fireside, fingers crossed. And then we'll do story time. But the Nev will be doing some story time. It'll be story time with the Nev again.
Well, we are coming up on the top of the hour, which means that we are going to go to a break here in a moment. Mm-hmm. But subscribe, get your friends to like and subscribe. I do want to show you guys this real quick. Behind me you get you have that little green screen here, and it's a what do you call it? It's a bridge there, but if I will know if somebody does become a subscriber during the show, because we now have that new thing. You'll also see it on the screen during the thing. We now have our own little alerts, guys. So those won't go over the commercials. So don't try to spam the commercials out. We fixed that. But coming up after this break, we are going to sit down with the one, the only Biscuit Weazel as he announces some more details on his new series that I'm excited to also be a part of. And we'll be right back after these messages on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127 or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod Cast.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
Hello friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways, all for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
G'day folks, this is Scotty McLaren as we go around the tube for this week. And we're going to kick things off with Cubs fan Han because, well, that was the perfect way to end last week after he managed to get a number of whales on his channel to discuss the future of the game. And, well, this week he managed to kick it off once again, and he was recapping pretty much what went down as Hot Sauce actually explained this in his video.
So I'm a director of software at a worldwide software company. That's where my experience comes from. And I've heard them mention in different articles that they have a framework problem, essentially, that's making it extremely hard for them to add in content. And why that happens in software is as you have different programmers cycle in and out over years, you end up just getting spaghetti code, you could call it. It makes it hard to deal with, hard to build on and whatnot. So they've mentioned that they're trying to fix that. And if that's the case, what we could be right now is sitting in kind of a lull where, yeah, they can produce new characters fairly easily. They're kind of buying them time because they can't really produce new raids and really new stuff while they're doing a framework overhaul. So I don't know this to any extent, but if I'm putting myself in their shoes, that's where we could be. And I hope that's where we are. I hope a few months from now, they've got their framework fixed and they can start plugging in new raids, plugging in new content and whatnot. Whether that ever happens, I have no idea. But if that's the case, if that's kind of what we're in right now, that could be a really good sign for the game long term, that they are taking that and investing into fixing that. Now the flip side to that is if they're not, they could literally be just trying to milk us till this thing dies.
Now, a number of YouTubers have been jumping on the bandwagon of Cubs' video throughout the week, and Cubs fan Han managed to get Urzatron involved in this as well. And here's what Urza thought of the whole scenario.
This isn't the first time we've heard about the spaghetti code. We heard about it, Cubs, when we were Game Changers, and they talked about the spaghetti code. A guy that isn't even with the company anymore talked about the spaghetti code and how the original build of this game was written so poorly by developers that they have been constantly hamstrung by the code. So this is not the first time Hot Sauce. I mean, we've heard about this before. So is that a real thing? Probably. I imagine this goes back to the sim tickets and how they can't write out sim tickets from the game because it's intricate to how things are paid out in the game. Some things like that. So I believe that spaghetti code is a real thing. And if it's still at this point, 4 years into the game, and it's still a problem, I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like they should have addressed it already at this point. But at the same time, if what they're saying, and they've said over the last couple months, is they've wanted to fix the spaghetti code so they can turn things faster.
While Cubs fan Han is actually thinking along these lines.
And if that's what CG's doing, a big spring cleaning here, they're trying to maintain the game right now by doing things that aren't interfering with their code overhaul, with their framework overhaul that they're currently doing. But that lull that we have enables them in a month or 2 months from now, after this fiscal quarter, to then give us very regular content for the rest of the life cycle of this game. This period will have been worth it.
Let's just hope that they're right. Meantime, over with Going Nerdy, he's released a pretty awesome video this week, actually. He's released a great video about why the game needs near numb, but it's his open letter to CG, which really had me standing up to take notice.
When the company moves away from what the game was, it does make it less fun. Now, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I've seen a lot of content creators drop out. Yesterday, I saw that the podcast Radio Free Tatooine is going to be doing their last live broadcast. That's crazy. I look at the Escape podcast, and I love those guys. They're great. Paul, Nev, but Nev's, as much as I love Nev, he's not the cuddly bear that I started with. He's not the koala that I spent time with. He's not Scotty. And Scotty quit again because of the frustration. The thing that I think that they could do, CG could do, to turn this whole thing around is go back to their roots. Now, my friend who's quitting said, look, I love the content, I love the stuff that they're doing, I love everything that they've done so far. The problem is I can't access it.
Aw, shucks, Thaddeus. So nice of you to say that, man. But I'm still involved in some capacity on the Escape podcast. Meantime, over with Heinzie, after making over $1,700 from donations just the other day, Heinzie's actually giving out 3 hyperdrive bundles, and he's donated $200 to the Australian Koala Fund. That's a pretty awesome way to give back, Heinzie. Also, on top of that, he's also got a great video about guild leaders, guild officers, and guildies that you need to see. Over with Mobile Gamer, and well, while everyone was talking about the GAC this week because, well, let's face it, everyone was streaming it, this was the one that actually had me in stitches, as his Darth Malik got destroyed by Ewoks.
The risk here is timeout, not losing, it's timing out. No, come on! You gotta be kidding me! Oh my god, what the hell is this stuff? Ah!
That's right. Darth Malik Solo destroyed by Ewoks. I would have had the same reaction too. Meantime, over with Thunderwhack, there's a great video on how to 3-star the new Forest Moon Assault battles. Certainly something that I'll need to look into because I still can't get past Phase 2. In other Star Wars news, Timothy Zahn has returned yet again to flash out a story about Thrawn, and this time he's going to be doing another trilogy from the author of the Chiss that we all love. Now, this trilogy is going to be focusing on Thrawn's life before joining the Empire, and Thrawn the Ascendancy Trilogy Chaos Rising releases on October the 6th this year. The Alphabet Squadron are back in another book this June with a book titled Shadow Fall, while E.K. Johnson, the author of Ahsoka, has been given the keys to Padme Amidala's backstory in the upcoming sequel to Queen's Shadow. Titled Queen's Peril, this will be the centering around Padme as the Queen of Naboo prior to Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Queen's Peril releases on June 2 this year, and if you you want to know the backstory of Poe Dameron, well, there's going to be a brand new book on that later to come this year as well. Now, soon you'll also be able to transform your PlayStation 4 into your very own personal Jedi temple. Now, Aspire, they're going to be releasing free themes inspired by the Star Wars classics, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and the upcoming Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, which launches early this year. Now, starting today, you can sign up exclusively at aspire.com/Star Wars to receive a free key via email that you can redeem on PS4, and there's no Jedi mind tricks required. And, well, I can't finish off this segment without the Clone Wars Season 7. It's kicked off on Disney+. How good is that? And make sure you get on over and check it all out too, because it is awesome. Also, it's been confirmed The Mandalorian Season 2 will be premiering this coming October on Disney+. So that's what's going on around the tube this week. You're listening to the Escape Podcast. Oh, look, it's all the kids from the Escape Podcast for Kids. Oh, hello, guys. It's so good to see you all. No, don't do that. Don't turn that lightsaber on. No, don't point it this way. No. Ah!
The death of that Scotty clone will be on your hands, you jackasses.
The Escape Podcast.
And welcome back to the Escape Podcast. We're into segment 2, and we've got somebody joining us.
Yes,
it's
ladies and gentlemen.
Bisweez. Drinks in the chat.
Guys. So remember, all right, guys, if you're out in YouTube land, every time Nev says Bisweez, you got to take a shot.
Yeah. It's Friday night. Everybody should be drinking. I mean, I was drinking, but I'm just down to ice now.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of. Well, mine's about half gone.
I've got Nev's tears in a glass.
Yes. He's still drinking my tears. You know.
I love it. I think it's hilarious.
For the podcast people,
we've trademarked it. We've trademarked and copyrighted it. It's ours. We own it.
For the podcast audience, my cup says free to play tears.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Biscuit Weazel, welcome to the program. This isn't technically an incoming transmission because we have a very special incoming transmission coming up in the next segment, because our first podcast to podcast incoming transmission will take place next segment.
Yep.
But first off, what's that over there? What's that over there just to your left? It looks like a new logo.
What?
Yeah.
A new logo? Where did that come from?
I think that somebody made you a new logo.
What? Where? What? I don't. Whoa. Okay.
So, Mrs. Anthony, who also does the Team Paul, Team Scotty shirts and all that, has put up a new Biscuit Weazel logo, and that is available on escapepodcastaways.com. Click on the merch button and you'll be taken to the TeePublic site where you can get just the Biscuit Weazel, or you can get the Biscuit Weazel logo.
Yep.
So, I'm excited that you have that, but we also have another thing that's coming along here shortly. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and start with me. I didn't hit a rhodium for the first time.
Oh, that's okay.
What? Seriously? Oh my God, that is pitiful.
I hate PvP, but I didn't hit a rhodium for the first time, even though I slayed right through Carbonite, slayed right through whatever the next one was. But as soon as I got in the higher tiers, I hit a roadblock. Every single team that I had, you saw it, Neil. Every single team
but if my internet hadn't started playing around, I think I could have still full cleared that round for you. I'd got through door number 1. I was clearing door number 2. I was clearing what was behind door number 2 because they'd gone hard defense on their front line. Their back line was actually much, much easier. Very, very easy, in fact. But not getting. I mean, Erodium's the default. You should be getting Erodium by default. I mean, it's not. If you don't get Kyber, it's like, damn, I didn't get Kyber because you're automatically in Erodium. So not making Erodium, it's like, oh, VP, very poor, very poor. Oh my god,
it was disappointing to me. So, we're gonna come up. I'm gonna explain what we're gonna do all about that coming up in after we review all of our GACs. Neil, how did you do on yours?
Well, I made Erodium.
Oh, that's hurtful.
Golf clap.
Yeah, no. I think what is it? I lost 3 rounds, so I was 9 from 9 and 3, unfortunately, on the Horde account, and stopped me from making Kyber. But my 3 losses, the 3 losses were me trying strategies and tactics that just didn't play out. I mean, the first loss was me putting too strong a defense down, and then I didn't have anything left in the tank to get more territories than my opponent, because my opponent got 2 and I didn't have enough to get 2 territories with higher amount of banners. And then the other 2 round losses were because I went with no defense and saved everything for offense and was unable to successfully get more banners than my opponent. So the 9 victories that I had in GAC were all from putting Geos in defense with 2 mediocre teams immediately underneath them and trash behind the Geos, and then saving everything else for offense. And every single time I played that strategy, I won. Every time I didn't do that, I lost. So next GAC, I will be my strategy and tactics will be very, very, very different from this GAC, from GAC 5. So roll on GAC 6, and hopefully they come up with some better and easier feats as well.
The feats were easy for me. I could do the feats.
Yes, but baby accounts can't do those feats. Maybe a Hyperdrive bundle account could do those feats.
Possibly.
But free to play ain't doing those feats, because free to play ain't working on Sith. Free to play's working on bounty hunters and rebels and Empire.
That makes sense.
Geos.
Yeah.
So I'll be going for my Padme in a couple days' time. That'd be fun.
Nice.
All right. So Biscuit, how did you do? And both did you do both accounts or just the one?
I only have one account.
Right. Well, I didn't know if you were helping with Sephironis's or not.
Oh, no. No, not this time. So I did. So for me, buying the Hyperdrive bundle about a month ago, I moved up into Division 2. So this was my first time to do a 5v5 in Division 2. So I had an extra team to set. So I had to put a couple of filler teams in the back. Well, one filler team I was already planning on putting, but with me going up to Division 2 and having to set 8 teams on defense, I ended up having to put an extra filler team so I could have an extra team for offense, just because I wasn't sure how difficult it was going to be. I did not expect to hit Kyber, and I didn't, but I got close. I lost one round each for each week. So I ended up 3,400 points from hitting Kyber. So I was close. Couple of matches where I should have won. The second round I should have won all 3, but round 2 just had some really bad RNG. So I ended up having to waste 3 teams on a Darth Malik, basically on Malik instead, because I got him all the way down, and so then I tried my second team failed, and then finally I just threw JKR at him so I could clear that top node and then get to the back. But I just had some bad RNG that round, and otherwise I would have won first that time. So
One thing I do want to point out, and that if it wouldn't mess up all the equipment, I would pour one out for you here. E-Grace Gamer had one drop in his final GAC, and he missed Kyber by 20 points.
Oh no!
20 points and no more feats. He did all the feats.
Oh my gosh! Oh, E-Grace, man, I am so sorry about that. That's rough.
And so one thing that I hope is that we had Cloud City Gaming on at one point. They ended up quitting. We had McMole on. He quit a little bit later. I hope that doesn't happen to you, E-Grace. I hope there's not an escape pod curse. Although, if there really was, Nerdy would be screwed by now.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he would have been ejected like 9 times over now.
So that's not too shabby. You do a lot of work. Explain the work that you do before you match up with all these people, Biscuit.
So I did a lot of studying this time because I knew I was going to have an extra team on defense. So I have several bots on my Discord server. I used Hot Sauce bot, and then I also use DSR, and I use it for they kind of give you the same information, but I use different tools from them to look at specific things. But then I will also go into their roster and I will look at so the DSR bot will show you, you can go in there and you can customize characters you specifically want to look at, characters like maybe General Skywalker or Brute Alpha or Padme, Darth Revan, Malik. You can put your top list of characters that you're most interested in to kind of gauge where your top meta characters are versus your opponent. Once I kind of look at those and I kind of gauge where I'm at compared to them, then I will go actually into their roster and I'll look at complete factions. So I want to look at Night Sisters. I want to see, okay, do they have a full Night Sister squad? I'll look at Bounty Hunters. I'll look at Bosk and Django. Okay, what's the speed on Django? Does he even have Django? Because if he has Django, there's a good chance that he's going to put Django as a Bounty Hunter lead on defense. And that plus the plus 30 Ps from Django, if you have a boss that is faster than an average JTR or BB-8 and a lot of tenacity, that's going to spell trouble for your Jedi training raid team. And I'll look at complete factions like that, because having those the one-off characters like that will give you an idea of somebody's roster, but it's not going to show you the whole picture. And with me going into a new division, I wanted to be able to get a better look at my opponent as a full roster, so I can look at his individual squads and then kind of game plan where I was going from there.
I'm sorry, your pupper is making me laugh a little bit there, Biscuit.
She's barking at my daughter who's playing Xbox in the other room.
There you go. Neil, that's not too different on what you used to do for your GAC, is it?
It depends. The thing is, it really depends on the account and what division that account is in, because the tactics, strategy, and squad placement are different and will always be different depending on the size of your roster and what division you're in. Yeah. So that's I suppose that's one of the good things about having a GAC hospital is it's not going to be one size fits all. You're literally going to need to speak to people on an individual basis and find out what division they're in, how big their roster is, what the GP is, what their best 20 are, what their best 80 are. If it's a higher division, then you need to know what their best 100 are. If it's one of the really lower divisions, you only need to know what their best 20 are.
Right. And when I was in Division 3, I ran the DSR bot and I was able to go, okay, I've got this character, and generally, and except for my Darth Revan and Basilesh on Fallen, I have pretty good mods on probably 85% of my characters. Few of my teams need some work, but in Division 3, I didn't really have to go that much in depth because most of the people around me, we were all kind of setting roughly the same kind of teams. Bounty Hunters, First Order, you might see the Old Republic team. So we were all kind of setting the same thing just because I got used to being in Division 3. Now that I'm in Division 2, I'm really starting to see General Grievous a lot and his droids. I faced a scoundrel team with Kira and Vandor Chewbacca the other day. That threw me for a loop. So just because that's the second time I've ever faced that team. Once was in a territory war, I don't know, 8-9 months ago, maybe a year ago. So I wasn't that up to that speed with that team. But since then I've gone back in and reviewed their kit. I know what those characters do now, and so I know what to do in the future when I face that team. So I'm starting to see some of the same teams are different, but then some of the same teams are, some of the teams are the same, and I'm really having to look at some of the other teams that I'm not used to seeing. And so that's what kind of threw me.
One of the things, and I do believe that the algorithm for matchmaking is definitely picking up for this. Is my main account, the one that I play on my iPhone, is full on milk toast. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. I have one Gear 13 relic character, and that's General Grievous. That's it, and that's it for the GG Nuke team. Apart from that, it's just Gear 12s, Gear 11s, your bog standard Zetas, average mods. It's an average account of 3.6, 3.7 million. I do very, very little with it, but if I were to then look at the Merc account and what I've got on the Merc account, now I haven't played the Merc account for a while, but when I was doing the GAC with that account is in Division 4. And the opponents that the Merc account was coming up against, because the Merc account had all Gear 12, all the meta squads, all Gear 12, all Zated, really, really good mods. Okay? So the top 20 of that team, which was less than 3 million, the top 40 of that team, which was less than 3 million, about 2.8 million, was much, much better than the top 20 of my Division 3 team. And clearly the matchmaking was seeing this because I was, being matched against opponents that, I know for a fact that my Division 3 team weren't going to beat. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm really looking forward to how things go. I mean, regarding the GAC hospital, will you be doing it live? Is it going to be a live stream clinic?
So, yes and no. So there's going to be 3 phases for each. You'll have your join phase, and then you'll have your setting defense phase, and you'll have your attack phase. So basically, during the join phase, it's going to be Paul asked if he could be first, and I said, "Yep, absolutely." So basically, what we're
get to that. I was going to be like, I sucked so much last time. Can I be your first victim? I mean, patient.
Yes, you can happily be my first victim. I mean, yes, patient. So the whole idea is, that during that join phase, whatever patient that's going to be coming on the stream with me. So the first 2, I'm going to make the videos for. And then, so we're going to do a roster familiarization where I'm going through their characters. I'm looking what squads do they have, how good are their mods. Basically kind of a roster review for me so that I know what that player has to offer, and then kind of start determining, okay, what are some teams that I'm probably going to want on keep for defense? What are teams I'm going to want for offense? And then, so that's going to be kind of the triage stage, basically during that join phase. When we get into when you set your defense, and that second, well, technically, I guess it's the first day of the actual GAC. After you join and you get ready to set your defense, then I'll run that player's account versus their opponent in both those bots so that they can see, and I'm going to help them determine, because if they haven't used bots before, then I will set them up a customized list of, all right, hey, here are characters that you're going to want to look at for every GAC. These are the vital ones, might be 10, might be 15. I think my list, I have 11. So we'll show them how to do that list, and then I'll show them both ones. That way they can get two different views. And then kind of do a pre-operation, basically, where we go, okay, here's I'm going to show my patient how to study a roster, how to develop a strategy for them. And then when we go into the attack phase, that's going to be what we call surgery. And that part will be streamed live. But the other where it's going to be a little bit, well, I'll say a little bit, it's going to be a lot different, is the first two sessions are going to be recorded, and I'm going to go ahead and post those on my YouTube for people to be able to start seeing.
And it's going to kind of be like a documentary style, because
yes,
I'm going to be doing some voiceover stuff for you.
Yep.
You're going to basically record your Zoom call with this person, and then what's going to happen after that is you're going to edit it up and be like, okay, here's a script for you to read over it, and you'll splice in, all sorts of stuff that will make it even better. It's kind of a fixer-upper. If you ever watch TLC.
Yes, yes, I love HGTV. Yeah, we love HGTV. So, but yeah, basically, the whole idea is to take, help that player, basically, I'll spend a week with every player to go through all 3 rounds. So we'll do that. You're in the attack phase, that surgery phase. I'll play the account. Hopefully we win. And then once that first round is over, during that next session, when you're getting ready to set defense for round 2, then we're going to go back and we'll review, okay, how did our defense do? Did we get any 2 or 3 defense holds? If not, okay, do we need to tweak our strategy, or did our opponent just use the right counters and was able to one-shot the squads? That kind of thing. And then basically phase 2 or round 2, the attack defense phase will be that studying the opponent again, looking for those right teams. And then phase 3 that day 3, during the attack phase, I'll go back in and play the account. And then, for the third day, the third round will just be the repeat of the same, but basically want to try to get that player, maybe the first round, we don't have any holds on defense. Maybe in round 2, we're able to figure out, okay, a little bit, tweak our strategy a little bit. Now we have able to get a couple of holds on defense, so that allows us a little more wiggle room for offense. And then maybe, eventually the goal is to get them first place for that round and get those, all those extra, all that currency.
So, I'm going to edit the description later on to link to your channel. But is there any? We are coming up at the bottom of the hour, where we have our incoming transmission coming up. It's story time with the llama. But that being said, is there anything that you're going to be doing special aside from just this brand new thing, or will there be props involved, Biscuit?
Oh yes, there's going to be props involved. I'm going to go get some scrubs, because I'm playing the part of a doctor, doing the triage and the pre-op and surgery. So I'm going to be playing the part of a doctor. So I'm going to have a scrubs and some, I may try to find a stethoscope if I can find one that's not too expensive, maybe a face mask. We'll see what comes up. But some of the news, other than that, actually the llama did a hyperdrive bundle, and she is following my farming plan. And so she is recording videos. And I actually this weekend, we're going to be sitting down to do some voiceovers and to show a new player. Okay, I got the hyperdrive bundle. Here's what it looks like, and here are some of the first things that it's going to look like for the account, and some of the first steps, so that a new player who gets that hyperdrive bundle can see exactly what they're getting.
All right. Well, starting next GAC season, go watch Biscuit Weazel play doctor on all the other players. So, with that being said, Biscuit, thank you for joining us this week.
All right, guys. Thanks for having
being
me
here,
on.
buddy.
Always a blast.
All right, Neil, get ready to hit the button because right after this, we got an incoming transmission with the Gambit podcast right here on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hey there, Escape Podawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net.
Heinzie from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Heinzie on YouTube today because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Heinzie today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways network.
The Escape Pod Cast for Kids. It's really cool.
Hello and welcome back, Escape Padawans, to Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. This week, we're headed back to the store. The store holo table, that is. I'll take you through that holo table, then give you some direction on where to get the most bang for your buck if you're looking to spend money in the game. Now, this table has 3 different tabs. The first tab is all about data cards. The very first data card you see is the Bronzium data card. This one is available for free 5 times a day. You can also purchase them for 250 ally tokens. Now, what's important about these cards is that they are 100% up to chance, and they can earn you gear, credits, and character shards. Secondly, there are chromium cards. These ones you buy with crystals. They'll earn you random character shards. The chromium mega packs are guaranteed to earn you enough shards to unlock a character. There are also a whole series of data cards that are available that are just temporary in the store. They offer a variety of gear, character and chip shards, and even relic materials. These packs most of the time will cost real money, but some of them cost crystals. The next tab is the Resources tab. This is where you can purchase both regular and chip credits, as well as training and chip enhancement droids. They come in a variety of amounts, all paid for with crystals. Finally is the Crystals tab. This is where you can use your real money to purchase additional crystals that you can use on data cards, in the weekly store, on energy refreshes, and a ton of stuff. You can also earn crystals in-game through events, completing daily challenges, and from both the squad and the fleet arena. Now, you do not have to spend money to be successful in this game. However, if you do have some extra cash lying around and would like to help yourself advance it a little faster, I suggest actually staying away from packs that rely on chance. For example, ones that give you a range of shards or random gear pieces. Most times, you're not actually going to end up getting the shards or gear you actually want. It's like going to the casino. It's designed to have poor odds. Instead, spend on the packs with a guaranteed number of shards and resources. It will ensure that you get exactly what you want and expect every single time. Now, if you do have some extra money lying around and you want to spend it in the game but aren't really sure what to spend it on, I actually suggest the Hyperdrive bundle. Now, whether you're a new player or a veteran player, this can actually help you out. If you're new, it will immediately increase your player level to 85 and give you a huge amount of characters and ships unlock, as well as geared to start with. Not to mention enough resources to help you get off to a great start. And the resources, gear, energy, everything that it comes with alone are actually worth the amount of money to a veteran player. That's all for me this week. Tune in next week for more Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127 or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Podcast now offers our faithful listeners a way to show their support via merchandise. Declare your allegiance to Team Paul or Team Neil with official shirts. Get a Storytime with the llama button or magnet. Or just represent the show by getting an official logo hoodie. There are now even Team Scotty and Team Heinzie options available too. Become an official Padawan today. Check out the merch at escapepodcastaways.com.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And welcome back to this week's incoming transmission. As you can see, we've got a grid. We have four people on screen right now. 4 people on screen right now. We have some new podcasters, but I won't be doing it because Paul is the master of ceremonies when it comes to introductions. So, Paul, over to you for the introductions.
They're not new podcasters. They've been around for a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, from coming to you from the offices of the Gambit podcast, we have 2 guys who love their GAC. I listened to their first episode in its entirety. I listened to their last episode in its entirety. Just like us, they started shaky, and now they sound confident as all get out. I gladly endorse the Gambit podcast, and I am honored to have with us today Solobass and Xaereth. I hope I said that right, Xaereth. Am I right?
Almost right. Xaereth.
Almost right. How exactly do I say it? Because, I always miss that part.
Xaereth.
Xaereth. Okay.
X's are always pronounced with a Z.
Especially this time.
Come on, no English grammar. Oh, sorry, I'm the Englishman, aren't I? Sorry, I'll forgive you, Paul. I'll forgive you.
Yeah, they're all here in they're here in the States, and so it's all right, guys. It is an honor to have you. Solo. Let's start with you. What kind of player are you? When did you start playing this game, and do you spend?
Well, I started playing the game the March after it launched. So what is that? About 4 months after. Took a 6-month break, came back, and then I've been playing ever since. I have 2 accounts now. So I have a free-to-play account, and then my main account, minor Dolphin. I don't spend a ton, but when the character shard packs come out for like $10 or $20, I'll boost it up a star or something like that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's Dolphin. So when when those bargain basement packs come out, that
right,
like $10 or $10 or less for really, really good stuff, you're in like a shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those shard packs, it's only 1 star, but saving like a month of farming when it's on a hard node. So worth saving a month.
I really do miss, and it was kind of funny because it came out right at the beginning of last year, almost about a year ago, where they started giving you shards, or started giving you crystals in addition to the shards. I do miss only having to drop $10. I don't mind buying the crystals. It sucks that you essentially get the same as a $9.99 pack, but you get 10 more for just 1 penny. But I really do enjoy picking those up because, as you said, if it's in a sea of content or an ocean as they're promising us,
an ocean.
Saving yourself a month of farming each of those characters, it really does help. It really does help. Xaereth, what about you? How much, when did you find out about this game that we all love so much? And in turn, do you even spend, bro?
So I started playing about a year after launch, and I do spend. It took me a while to start doing that, but I definitely do here and there. I would also classify myself as a dolphin. A pack here or there. I've never outright just bought a character up to 7 stars or anything. I did get the hyperdrive bundle, so there's that. Sorry, I'm not trying to make enemies here, but
I'm fine with the hyperdrive bundle. I never purchased it. I'm fine that it's there. I'm sad of where it's led and the pain that it's caused Neil, but I'm fine with it.
Well, at least now you have some constant bling on your screen whenever you want. You can just look in the top right corner and you can see it. That daring you to purchase it at some point.
It mocks me. It mocks me on a daily basis because it knows I'm never going to buy it. And then you know what's going to happen? Later on this year, they're going to bring out Hyperdrive Bundle 2, and then that icon will mock me forever in perpetuity. It just will. It's just going to mock me, and it's going to be Hyperdrive Bundle 2. Buy me. Don't worry about Hyperdrive Bundle. Yeah. So, but no, you're right. But big question. How did you find it advantageous? Or did it just fluff your GP and screw you in GAC?
Actually, I did like it. I bought it for my alternate account, actually, randomly. It was kind of an impulsive purchase.
Impulsive $100 purchase.
Well, I was thinking about doing it.
Card and numbers on the back.
No, but for my alternate account, I was in Division, what was it, 5, I think, and it did boost my GP up to Division 4, so that's been interesting. Otherwise, for that account, it's great. I mean, it gets you a lot of characters that you don't have to farm on the Cantina farm. Like, I'm so hopelessly behind on that account because, I'm not getting very many arena payouts. It's hard to spend the time to get arena payouts with an alt account. So I've really enjoyed that just because like Death Trooper, I would love to have Death Trooper on that account, and now I do. It's 5 stars, but it's still usable. Otherwise, he has to wait behind it. He has to wait in line behind Geonosian Brood Alpha, Arc Trooper. All of the mandatory farms essentially. And it was just nice not to have to wait.
Excellent. So you're on, I believe it was episode 27.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are on episode 27. We'll get to how to find you, but let's get into essentially why in the world would you want to talk about a video game week in and week out?
Yeah. What's up with that, guys?
I know. Whose big idea was this?
I'm putting this on Xaereth. He talked me into it.
Yeah, Solo and I were actually we were in the same guild for a really long time. I joined as kind of a refugee from a series of other failed mergers with my old guild. Right around when territory battles started. And, Solo was the guild leader. I eventually became the territory war officer, and we've wanted to collaborate and figure out this PvP thing forever. So that's what we've been doing. And, at one point, one of us said, oh, we should start a podcast. And that kind of slowly grew into actually, taking the plunge. And it's been a lot of fun. We're not super fancy. You guys have all these really cool production things, and we love it.
Well,
and
for us, honestly, it's 12 years of radio, and Neil has been doing stuff with. He's been doing kind of marketing even of himself for the longest time. So we put our two heads together after Scotty decided to leave the game, and decided to bring Nev on as my co-host. But Scotty, he and I, between us, we had 45 years of entertainment experience together. Neil is the one to thank for the YouTube, but we're soon going to be streaming back on Discord at the same time, so people can get the audio only version almost right away. But it's I love it. I absolutely love doing this week in and week out myself. But this interview is about you. So, you guys have a lot of fun. You guys have a lot of laughs in your stuff, and that's what definitely made me go, yeah, let's get these guys. What's your show planning like? For those that
I was about to say that, yeah.
Just like we do.
I was about to ask what makes what is it that determines what you discuss? It's like, oh, this is what we're going to talk about this week, or this is what we're going to talk about that week. What's the what is it that that kind of comes up to you and thinks, yeah, that's what we have to discuss?
I'll see if Solo can spin it to sound fancier than it is.
Probably about an hour before we record the podcast, I sign on. I, do a quick outline, and then we just kind of go.
So kind of like how we did today.
Which is better. Yeah, that was what we did today.
Oh my gosh, we had we scrambled. We normally have things ready to go, but a lot of stuff fell through right at the last second. We were scrambling like that.
I was still rendering the open for the show less than 1 hour before we went live, and it's only a 2.5 minute video. but I was still having to put it together, overlay the audio onto the video, and then render the damn video, and then convert it to a format that plays on OBS under a low latency. So yeah, trust me, you guys, that the fact when you're just doing the audio, you can get away with so much, and you've just sold your biggest secrets. Like, yes, I'm just going to log on an hour before the show, and we're just going to wing it. But I will say, I've said this to Paul, when there's a couple of when it's a couple of you and your friends, and and you speak to each other all the time, and you have conversations, it is so much easier to wing it with a friend for an hour, maybe even two, especially if you've got a couple of things to talk about.
Right. We keep.
Neil actually has to put on a shirt now, just so you know. Neil puts a shirt on for the show instead of just sitting there in his all English glory.
Excuse me. I've only got Star Wars shirts and old Army shirts. Sometimes I wear
Solo,
old
what
Army
were you gonna
shirts.
say?
Stop talking about us. We're talking about these guys.
It's when we do this, we've been having the same continuing talk for about 3 years now on PvP. So we hop on the podcast, and it really is just kind of a continuation of every talk we've had on Discord basically every day for 3 years. So you really don't need to prep for it, because we've been having the same conversation now forever.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Both of us are pretty passionate about the PvP aspects of the game. We like the rest of it as well, but the PvP stuff is what's most interesting to us. And it's just come pretty natural. Once we got used to kind of doing the podcast format, and like you said, we were kind of awkward at the start. We're feeling a lot more confident now. It's it feels pretty natural at this point. We really like that part of the game the most, and it's been a lot of fun. We also do our YouTube stuff as well, so we're kind of used to talking into our mics.
We had Hellenix post links to your channels inside of our YouTube chat. We will also add them to the down below in the description, and also to when it does get posted to the podcast format. With that being said, though, you weren't so much awkward in the beginning, but more unsure of how you do the podcast. But now you guys got this down tight. You guys do about, what's your average runtime now?
Probably an hour 20.
Hour 20. Yeah, we're rocking about 20 minutes, or not 20 minutes. Neil would love that. We're rocking about 2 hours ourselves every single week. So you guys are the bite-sized version to our full-size candy bar.
And have some fun. Make some, have some fun with commercials. Just make some random crap. That when I was starting out, that's what I used to do. I used to just make random stuff, and I would throw it on at the beginning, like a commercial. I got my sister to record a fake tourist board, a vacation to Naboo. And it lasted like a minute and a half, but it was just, I just wrote her a script and put a bunch of pictures up, and it's like, come to Naboo, see this, see that, see this, and it was just, and I just, it was fun at the time. So yeah, just kind of like give you guys breaks, because we break our show up into like 4 segments. If we had to, talk continuously without a break for an hour and 20 minutes, I mean, we'd end up throttling each other. I mean, I you can't see my hands. I could do an Urs. Yeah, there you go. There we go. So, but yeah, no, we'd end up throttling each other, just like because we were arguing last night about what we were going to discuss. So, you just have some, do you guys argue an awful lot? I mean, do you deliberately come up? I mean, one of the things that Paul and me like to do is come up with subject material that we know that we're going to have a contrary position on, so that it doesn't sound boring and like, oh yeah, I agree with you. Oh yeah, I agree with you. It's like conversation over. So it's like we'll talk about a bunch of things until we find something where we can definitely, I will definitely take a contrary position to him, or he'll definitely take a contrary position to me. Do you get stuff like that?
Well, one of the issues we run into is that Solo is always right, and it's hard for me to go contrary to that. So not as much fighting, but we do disagree on a lot of things. We have a lot of things that we're our approach is a little bit different. In general, we do agree a lot, but I don't know. I don't think that necessarily hurts us too much.
So what's the biggest fight you guys have had about something in game?
Night Sister leads. Absolutely. I've always been Talzin lead. I finally convinced him to jump over to the Talzin bandwagon now.
Really? That's the thing the Night Sister lead was the biggest cause of friction between the two of you.
It's been long standing though.
Really? Is this like an inside joke as well, is it?
The interesting thing about that is that Solo was wrong for a long time, and then Relics came out, and Relics made him right. Like, the thing about it was before, the Night Sisters weren't doing as much. They didn't have as much DPS. They didn't have as much damage, and so I liked Asajj because she went so well with Spirit, and they needed that extra damage. With Relics, you can put a ton of damage on everyone, and it's just a matter of leveling up your relics. If you can't add relics to add potency though, and that's to me the biggest selling point for Talzin is now she adds potency to the rest of her team, and they already hit hard enough. So that's that was kind of the deciding factor for me to eventually join the ranks of Talzin lead. So.
Yeah, so we had eGrace Gamer last week talk about how Talzin lead on a budget can kill a General Grievous team, and also when it comes to being right. By the way, Solo, Helenik says that he knows the struggle himself. He goes through it all the time.
It's tough. It's just tough to live with.
So Solo, why have you been so vehemently on a Talzin lead rather than an Asajj lead on these teams? And then after that, a follow-up question is defense or offense? Because I'd like to then transition into your guys' bread and butter, just like Neil, Grand Arena Championships.
I've always liked Talzin just because you make one mistake against her, you have 2 tunes left, and all of a sudden you've killed Daka, then they get a basic, they kill one of your tunes, Daka's revived, and all of a sudden it's now 5v4 and you're losing the match immediately. That, and in the dreaded 3v3, a Talzin lead, she becomes a control team because you put Daka with Talzin and Spirit, and they just stun your entire team. And there's nothing you can do because your team is perma-stunned because of all that potency and all the stuns. When we're talking about offense or defense, I've been using Night Sisters to counter Geos for the last 2 5v5s. So I always bring them on offense. They're a lot more reliable than Treya because, people aren't leveling up Treya to match the Geos. And with Night Sisters, you only need a leveled up Daka, much like the Grievous counter. It's the same idea, just you're using them against Geonosians, and I've never lost. I've never lost against them.
Okay, so that's been the only win that I've been getting, though. My relic for Geo team has been beating the Night Sister team. So,
Yeah, that's 2 reasons. You're probably going up against a Asajj lead, which we've already established is inferior. But the other side of it is, if you look at the targeting priority for Geos, they're going to attack the weakest member of the team. So if you have Daka with 140 or 120 health, or 100 health even, they're going to attack Spirit 90% of the time when Zombie's not taunting. When you play against them, you know to target Daka, but the AI is just never going to do it.
So it's all about control and on who's controlling it, the computer or the human.
Right.
And
the RNG gods. It's always the RNG gods. It's never the computer. It's the RNG gods. And if you're lucky, RNGesus.
So, Solo, where did you end up in this past GAC, and then over to you, X?
So, on one account, I made Kyber. The other one I missed. Ironically, it's the one that I do YouTube videos for that missed, and the one that I don't made Kyber. Go figure. But so at least one of them made Kyber.
Xaereth?
So I guess it's just for the people who regularly watch my videos. I don't have my final video out for it. So this is an exclusive reveal here. So on my main account, I needed a full clear against my final opponent to make Kyber, and I didn't necessarily need to win. I just needed a full clear, and I did eventually get that. I had to make a decision though. Early on, my opponent had a really strong defense. In his history, he puts Padme and Darth Revan and General Skywalker, and usually at least one other meta team on defense every time. And that's coupled with a boss who's like 310 base speed, and he always uses Django lead, so it's 340 speed, which is it matches my Stark speed, so my troopers are going to have a tricky time countering it. Just a really tough guy. So I ended up I had to make the decision of what did I value more. Did I want to value Kyber more, making Kyber, or going for the win? And in the end, I decided, I like Kyber better. So I did just kind of, I put a weaker defense in, and, I made it in, and I guess I'll let you guys watch my video if you want to see if I actually won the fight. So
there we go.
Kyber though.
Perfect way to put it. And so you were on the verge tune in to the Gambit, or rather Xaereth's personal channel, but tune into the Gambit next week because I'm sure you guys are going to discuss it.
Of course.
Absolutely, we will. And my alt made Kyber too, if anyone cares. But
there we go.
It's like double Kyber.
Double Kyber.
It's
yep.
nice. My best is triple Kyber.
Oh yeah,
I was at the time I was running like 4 accounts, so I've been going. I was going for the quadruple, but I only made the treble. No, like this, like across the board.
Hold on. Let me see here. You're bragging about your triple Kyber.
Triple Kyber, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Guys,
I'm sorry. That wasn't family friendly.
See, triple. See double Kyber. Triple Kyber. I can't even see my fingers.
No one needs that much.
Oh my gosh.
Title of your porn film.
All right, we are we're at the top of the hour here. I'm really enjoying talking to you guys. But let's start out. How do people find you? Do you have a Discord server? Do you have a Patreon? Tell us about the Gambit podcast itself.
This is totally Solo's thing. He loves telling everyone about how to find us. Mostly because I make him do it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. He doesn't want to do it. We do have a Discord server. You can actually, our YouTube, like you said, was linked in the chat. If you go to any of our YouTube videos, they'll have the links to both the podcast page and then our Discord server as well.
Excellent. And so when do you guys record? Can they listen live or do they have to wait?
They get to wait.
Yeah, they get to wait. We record Monday nights. It's about 1 a.m. for me. So that's why if I ever sound drunk, I'm not. I'm just falling asleep as we're recording the podcast.
Yeah, we have to do it pretty late. My kids are usually, we live in different time zones, so I have to get my kids in bed, and sometimes they're less helpful in that area than I would prefer. So,
and Cody G in the chat is not going to let you not talk about this, Xaereth. You have a Patreon.
I do. That's for my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Look, we don't.
Nev has one. I do things on Twitch. It's okay to talk about. You're on the show.
Yeah. I don't have a Patreon.
You get Patreon money though.
You guys.
Yeah.
I'm also in the quest for 1,000 subs. Right there with you guys. So, but yeah, we have a lot of fun. We have the patrons only chat and everything on our Discord. We have a lot of fun. A lot of really skilled players.
What do you offer for your Patreons?
So I offer them at every level, everyone gets access to the arena bot. So it's going to just send a message to you every time you drop in either arena, which is a really helpful tool. If you're at work all day, you don't even necessarily have to log into the game to know exactly where you stand in arenas. You know what time to budget, if you're going to budget it, if that matters to you.
I love the Alexa skill too. When I get home, I'll be like, hey, I can't say her name. She'll start talking to me. But what's my arena rank?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. I think honestly that on its own, in my opinion, is worth if you're just looking for investment, value. I think that's probably good enough. But also I also do like coaching. I have if depending on your level, like you can have a private coaching room on the Discord, and I have a bunch of people I call my very powerful friends who they just kind of they poke their head in the chats every once in a while, and if I'm not around to talk to people and offer advice or whatever, then my very powerful friends can also do that, and they all have incredibly strong Grand Arena and PvP resumes. So, it's been a lot of fun. I think I've only been doing it for about a month at this point. I think I started about a month ago. So,
that's awesome. Anything else you guys want to advertise while you guys are here at all?
Yeah, well, I think the last thing that we have, and it's probably the best thing that we've done, since we record all of our fights, we have a Google Doc that has timestamped links to every counter that we face. So you'll have, if we go up against, say, a Night Sister team, it'll list the 5 members of the Night Sister team. You'll see the 5 members we used against it, and then a timestamped link to that fight. So you can actually see the counters in action rather than, just the fancy, headshot of JTR beats Boss. You actually get to see the counter and see how well the counter works and how to run it.
I was hoping you were going to mention that. I was really hoping you were going to mention that. Thank you so much for mentioning that. But guys, check out the Gambit. They are wonderful, wonderful people, and as you can tell, they're just like you and I. And we really, really enjoyed having you guys on. Thank you for taking a moment on your Friday nights. But really quick solo, I used to do the show with an Aussie, so I know all about getting up at the latest crack of dawn to be able to do a show with them. Luckily, we imported Nev over to the U.S.
Oh, fantastic!
I'm a mock convict. Useful.
Well, guys, as I said, check out the Gambit. Check below for links, and anytime you want, stop by their Discord server as well. Tell them that the Escape Podcast sent you, and get a welcome basket of absolutely nothing, but except a high five. Stay tuned. We have segment 4 coming up right after this, but before we get to before the break ends, we'll check in with Helly and the Noob right here on the Escape Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
The Escape Podcast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast.
Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
Yeah!
For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Noob! Where could he be? Noob!
I am here, Lennox. How can I be of service?
Where have you been, Buster? I really gotta look through that self-diagnosis report he did when I get caught up with everything. Always behind schedule. Never mind all that. Newbie, I need to find where you stored those helium detonators we got. These Minox we picked up at the Monolith Burger fly-through we stopped at. Over there near Bimiel in sector MZX 32905. They're doing a number to our hyperdrive. I'm gonna have to don a spacesuit and do some old Minoc puffing, I think.
Are you going to
Kill.
these organics, Lennox?
Well, noob, If I don't get them off the ship, they'll strand us in space. And unlike you, those pesky Minox, and Mary Poppins Leia, I actually need oxygen to breathe. No power, no air. No air, no oxygen. No oxygen, no Hellenics. And we can't have that, can we? Ahem. I said, we can't have that, can we?
Storage shelf 1137T. Hellenics.
Great. As soon as I've cleared those pesky Minox off our ship, and after I get back inside, safely aboard, we can get back to what we do every Friday night, newbie.
Listening to the Escape Pod cast with your hosts, Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Eyre. Am I right, Hellenics?
That's right, Noob. Wait a second, that's my line. Dumb droid. All right, Noob, I'm off to play Space Exterminator. If you need something to do to keep you busy while you wait, watch my Hellenics Reviews All Star Wars Movies video review on my YouTube channel, #shameless self-promotion. And I'll be back before you know it. I really shouldn't have eaten that jumbo monolith burger with poly cheese. Those space spreads, that chocolate slappy Snoopers shake. Man, tastes great going down. Boy, does it leave me with knots an hour later. Need some space offices. There's a space reference. Lots of space references. Space Quest. Awesome.
Investigation log. Supplemental. Suspect Hellenics clearly shows a capacity to end organic life without hesitation. Evidence mounting, but more evidence is required. Probability of Hellenics being found guilty for the murder of Scotty McLaren increased to 90%. If probability reaches 99%, Hellenics must be destroyed.
The Escape Pod cast The Bridge.
And welcome back to our fourth and final segment of the Escape Pod cast. We're in the bridge. How you doing, Paul?
I'm hanging in there. That was fun.
I thought it was a lot of fun. Those guys were top bunch of lads. Couple of really, really nice bunch of blokes, as we would say in England.
It's a lot of fun when we get somebody that does the same medium. You know, we used to get a lot of people that did video, and it showed because, you know, they are used to communicating through visual, and we're podcast guys. You're used to doing video, but I'm used to communicating just through the power of my voice and not saying, take a look at this. You are, you know, so it's fun when somebody from my side of the field gets to come play on the show.
Well, it's you know, it's backwards and forwards. We play off each other. It's good.
Yeah, I had a lot of computer problems. Our initial plan here was Neil was going to do a play-by-play for you guys while I tried the Kiadi Mundi unlock mission. But sadly, we did not get the computer had a lot of problems, so I'm not going to chance this. But I will possibly record this when I do it later tonight after the show. I may do it as part of the after show.
Your PC was not playing nice at all today. Full of gremlins.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that for the after show. We'll see what comes up here.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
You know, I'm absolutely loving this. Loving the interaction, guys. Thank you so very much for everything that you guys have been doing for us. As I said, thank you, Deadpool Kyle. Thank you, Bringer. Thank you, Sir Boss. You guys are all helping push us to the 1,000 mark. We will get there. And
this is the way.
I will also acknowledge that once 1,500 hits, we have located the outfit. We have located the outfit. We know somebody that has a size me version of an Ohio State cheerleader's outfit, and it's going directly back to them after that show. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want that in my house. Go blue.
Oh God! It's not gonna bite you, Paul. It's not gonna bite. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna harm you. You know. It's not like mean words on Twitter, which apparently do harm you. You know, it's just an inanimate object that's not going to do anything to you.
Mean words on Twitter. Everybody's a keyboard warrior, Neil. Everybody's a keyboard warrior when they're stuck behind a screen name. You know, if you have problems with content creators, there's a button, and you know what? I'm going to let you know. I'm not going to be offended if you unsubscribe. If you have a problem with Neil or I, we're not forcing you to watch us. We want the people who enjoy what we create to stick around, to come around. We enjoy loving talking to our listeners, the thousands that are inside of our Discord channel. Thank you to you guys. I just wish each and every one of you would have hit the subscribe button. But that's another story.
So Cody, there was a little bit of a convo going on between Cody G and Ray Rock about meetups in Illinois, and when Ray Rock said that we did it three times last year. That's a good point. We did do it 3 times last year. We did. I think it was 3 times last year. It was definitely twice. Does celebration count? But yeah, Cody, we should definitely do one. And if we meet up at mine as a central meeting point, there's a bar, there's a pool table, there's a gaming table, so we can have a little fun while we're waiting to get the gang together to go do a meetup somewhere.
I was married in Illinois. I'm quite familiar with that area, and I wouldn't mind making that drive either.
Oh, that would be fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
I could get everybody in the studio to do something together. That would be fun.
That would be amazing fun. But speaking of in the studio together, coming up in June is going to be the first ever live in studio, unless something happens before then. Live in studio, Thaddeus from Going Nerdy will be sitting right here on the Escape Podcast.
And you never know, CG, might finally communicate with some content creators and, request, request our presence at Celebration for some, hard interviewing.
Well, here's another thing. Speaking of interviewing and content creators at CG, I sent him off in a way that I thanked him for all of his service. You have this warped sense of something that happened.
Oh, it's a conspiracy theory.
You have a conspiracy theory. I still call it slander. I still call it slander, but
slander. No, slander is being, slander is saying something about someone that is untrue. Factually incorrect. Okay.
Well, okay. So you don't have the facts on this, Neil. But
no, that's why it's a conspiracy theory.
We okay. Conspiracy theory on one hand. Slander on the other. They can be made into a sandwich, but
no, because slander goes to intent. Slander is, as in bad, bad or horrible intent. There is no, malicious intent in my conspiracy theory. It's just a conspiracy theory.
What we're
slander infers, and there is, malicious intent behind slander.
Okay, so what we're talking about here is Sean from Galactic War Report has decided to come back. Radio Free Tatooine will continue to put out Galactic War Report, and Ray Rock calls it libel instead.
Libel's in print. Libel's when it's in print. Slander's verbal. Libel is in print.
So what's it make it if it's on video?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
So, okay. So do you want my conspiracy theory or not?
What's your conspiracy theory?
My conspiracy theory is that CG Top Hat, or somebody else at CG, basically got in touch with the Galactic War Report, right, and begged them not to leave because they wanted to do more interviews with them in the future. So Galactic War Report were like, "All right, then, fine. You've kowtowed to us, and and that's so that's my conspiracy theory. My conspiracy theory is CG got in touch with Galactic War Report and said, please don't quit because we want to keep doing interviews with you. And Galactic War Report were like, okay, fine. So that's my theory. That's my conspiracy theory as to why they came back so soon after Sean said that he was leaving for very legitimate, very reasonable and valid reasons.
Okay, so they can prove you wrong by coming on the show, but they can also prove us wrong by answering Going Nerdy's open letter. If you guys haven't had a chance, I have to stop there, though. We have been putting out open letter upon open letter to CG to no avail. What is the next step without burning the books, without storming the castle and pouring molten lava over the walls? What can we do? Community, I'm seriously asking you. I want to know what you think that we should do so that we can, talk to CG. And
I ain't kissing no ass.
What's that?
I ain't kissing no ass.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm just trying to find out what we need to do so that we can, go together, all together, and figure out a way to get them to communicate a little bit more. There have been so many other groups that have other studios that do communicate a little bit more. CG, you used to do it all the time. We miss that. This is not an open letter. This is a plea to talk to us, plebes. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay. There we go. Get off your asses and get in touch with us. We'll only be, he'll be the good cop and I'll be the bad cop. It'd be fun. It'd be interesting. And no, we will not be giving you. We will not be pre-letting you know. We won't be giving you all of the questions prior to asking you them. This is not the DNC. This is not the 2016 elections. We ain't giving you the questions. So interesting.
I'll give them, as I mentioned. I'll give them the final edit. But
of course. It goes without saying that they would get the final. They would get the final edit because it's their voices. They've agreed to an interview. But I'm just saying that under no circumstances do they get to know what the questions are up front. So we get to tell people we've got an interview. We're not going to tell them what's in the interview. But if we then broadcast a show without said interview, everybody's going to know that they've chickened out. So we've had an interview with them. We've asked them a bunch of questions, but we can't broadcast it because they haven't given us permission to broadcast it. Everybody's going to know. Yeah.
So Force Strong says that Mrs. Force is going to subscribe just so I'm one closer to getting to ending up in that cheerleader outfit. But he also says we need to plan something near North Carolina, and he can get me finally be able to get me that Super Checks hockey on Tuesday. Force, I am going to be going to a little arcade that I know has a Super Checks bubble hockey machine, and I'm going to be playing that on Tuesday. Very special day for me.
So, okay. Good show.
Yes, good show.
Excellent show.
Any parting words, Neil?
I hope everybody reached Kyber. I hope everybody achieved their goals in the game this week. Hope everybody made Kyber. I didn't. Bad strategy, bad tactics. Got to take responsibility for that. But I hope everybody had a good GAC. And I hope everybody enjoys GAC number 6 when it comes around. Still praying hard for to be put against Gary or Babu Frick. Maybe it'll happen in GAC 6. Who knows?
That's definitely a thing. Like and subscribe. Join the Patreon for a chance to get a shirt, or increase your Patreon pledge for a chance to get a shirt specifically sent to you via TeePublic from the Llama. And guys, thank you so much for everything. Be nice to each other, damn it. With that being said, Nev, push the button.
You got it, mate. Ta-ta for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.